I'm here. I forgot the Scorpio moon cards. Good morning, and welcome to Monday, the 14th of April. And I would like to pay my respects to the spirits of the land here, where it is a beautiful day. It was very, very foggy this morning when I was heading over to training. So I hope that it's not an analogy for the day. And well, you know what? Even if it is, it was foggy this morning and it's cleared. So, all right. So we've got some. Oh, we've got the moon exactly conjunct Lilith right now at 4 degrees of Scorpio, which is exactly conjunct my Mercury at 4 degrees of Scorpio. So, we had that huge full moon yesterday. Oh my God, the feels. So it started with that Sun conjunct Chiron at 2 a.m. in Aries, Mars ruled. All right, the healing of the I am wound. With Mars, I keep on going on about this. Retrograde city is over, guys. Retrogrades are finished. All right, now we do have shadows, but fuck that shit because that's it. We are able to now move over. We are now clarifying where we're heading. Anyway, back to yesterday. So we had that Sun conjunct Chiron. Then we had that full moon in Libra. With all the feels. Oh my God. I got so emotional yesterday morning. And I mean, I got emotional because, of the full moon, but also because, Gobs passed yesterday. My beautiful Gobbles. And I knew it was coming. And Michael and I was talking to my class on Saturday and I got rid of, I sold quite a few feathers from Gobs and Missy. And then, I was just telling them how much of a legendary bird he was. Anyway, and then Mick was talking and he was like, yeah, he's sitting a lot. He's just got his eyes closed a lot, and I mean, he was like 90 for a turkey, a well-loved, wild turkey. But, anyway, so he rang me back not that much longer after that and said, yeah, no, he's passed. So farewell, Gobs, you were loved. All right, so there's that Chiron, and he was well loved. He was beautiful. Even the Libra aspect of that, I was like, that's just, he was a member of our family. He was a male. So there's Mars in Cancer. So anyway, you can look at it so many ways. And then 40 minutes after that, we had Venus station direct. So now she is moving forward, and she is still in that sort of dreamy space, but I mean, isn't that goals? Like, isn't that life? You have to dream something into existence. You have to feel something to make a decision to then progress. All right, so whatever it is, like you can reach the bottom of the barrel, like that I can't go any further moment where you're sitting there in your grief or in your experience and you're like, that's it. There's a turning point, So yesterday was that turning point. We are there now. And then the moon moved into Scorpio at just before midnight last night. And so here we are. So did the full moon leave you with a bit of a combative feel, or are you just deep in the feels? So with all the water that we're dealing with, I'd say go for a swim, but also some punch therapy might be, make you feel a little bit better. But, there is a bit of an energy hangover. So we're just trying to shake ourselves off and, be honest with our communication. And this is that Lilith stuff, I suppose she does deal with shame a little bit as well. That shame where we're told to sit down, shut up, don't be authentic. What do they think you're talking about? Who do you think you are? All of that shit. And Scorpio is in that feels right now going, So, how about I click some buttons and see who's here? Because, Facebook doesn't work for me at all right now. Good morning, Katie. How are you? Oh, yeah, he is. He's such a sweetheart. He was such a sweetheart. I only ever patted him once. And so, Mick has laid him to rest. That seems to be Michael's job. Thank you, Michael, for taking on that responsibility if he is here today, which I don't think he is. I think he's off at work. But anyway, so yeah, we have that. We have that Scorpio moon right now. And, you know, there is a lot of grief and deep healing, even though we've got to that Sun Chiron moment and that has passed. I mean, obviously, it's still right there. So, you know, maybe that rock bottom has had you realizing what it's actually going to take for you to move past this. All right. Now, I was thinking about this earlier, and it's a little bit of a conundrum. All right. So, with all the Mars in Cancer stuff, it's like I am who I am because of what I've been through, but I'm not just what I was made, if that makes sense. You know, I'm more than my experience. You know, these lessons that we're going through right now, and like I said, they're slowly going to pass. You know, Venus is going to have to move back over Saturn again. And is that this week? I don't think it is. I think she's still quite slow for a little bit. Yeah, look, I'm looking up until next week and it still hasn't quite got there. But, you know, like we're getting into, I suppose it's like the pointy end of a stick, you know, like there's all sorts of things happening. So we've got Mars is going to move into Leo. That's going to give us definitely give us the vibe back, you know, our energized feeling. All right, Mercury is going to move into Aries on Wednesday. That's definitely going to give us our voice back. All right, so maybe in these next couple of days, we can just still ponder, but Venus is now making plans, all right, because she's moving towards Saturn, all right? So she's like, okay, I've done with all the feels. I've now got to think about how I'm going to continue on, all right? So we've got that. Then, like I said, Mercury gets his voice back. Venus doesn't move into Aries until, I don't know, it's... oh god, it's about 10 days away or something like that. You know, the sun moves into Taurus next Sunday, so we're gonna, all this fire and water, it's gonna be fire, it's gonna be water and earth, you know, so we're still a little bit, I don't know, not muddy. It's not as vibrant as what it's going to be. All right, so this year is not going to start until, or you know, like I said, the retrogrades are over. We're still in the shadows. We're in the shade. You know, I don't know. Let me just click the button again. I feel like I've even lost my words a little bit this morning. Yes, she is, Katie. She's definitely a Scorpio. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Anita. How are you? So nice to see you all. All right, so let's draw a card. Even when I was doing my live on Instagram this morning, I felt like I was a little bit like, haven't quite got that flow. And I don't know, maybe you feel like that too. Like I said, Venus is direct, but she's still sort of, you know, in bed, looking glamorous and fabulous. But she's like, I'm just going to wake up a little bit more and have a stretch. So let's do, we've got our awesome Scorpio cards. So what card is going to be perfect? Like I was saying in the words, there's just a little bit of like an energy hangover. It's not quite vigorous. It's not quite sad. It's just not quite, I don't know. Anyway, that's how I'm feeling. Okay. What card have we got today? This one here. Oh, how teachable are you? Oh, I like that one. Number 9 for those people that like. I don't have my glasses. Oh my God, I'm forgetting everything today. All right. I really need glasses. All right. Are you open to learning new things in your life? How high is your desire to let go of judgment, doubt, negativity, and self-sabotage? Oh my God, how Moon in Scorpio conjunct Lilith is that? Ugh, just say the things, do the things, just be. All right. What are some of your favorite things to do? Is it watch TV, go shopping, play golf, drink, gossip? Are you willing to give those things up in order to create time to learn new things? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Is your willingness to really apply what you learn? Sorry, what is your willingness to really apply what you learn? You might be learning many new things, but be resistant to change. And every time you begin to think, I already know this, I've heard it before, this doesn't apply to me, your ability to learn diminishes enormously. And at this point, you might become virtually unteachable without realizing it. Unless you apply what you have learned into your life, you won't really know it. This card beckons you not only to be open-minded, but to take specific action towards change. And I love this because this is sort of the feeling of Venus now direct, hanging out with Saturn. She's like, I know I've got to do different things. All of those retrogrades, the reflection is over. It's now about moving forward. All right, what is going to make you feel the best? And, you know, maybe in the retrograde stuff, you realize that, you know, that what you've been doing all this time isn't your jam anymore. Maybe you do need to learn a new way of things. So maybe part of the plan is, you know, figuring out what it is that you need to do. So we have got this Scorpio moon all the way through until Wednesday lunchtime. So tomorrow's a bit of a decision-making day as well. So, you know, these next 2.5 days, go into that depth space and just be comfortable there, all right? Be loud, be proud, be comfortable. Most of the hard stuff is, you know, diminishing now. So hopefully we can just sort of start to cruise through this. So I'll click one more time. Embrace the power of Lilith and moving forward. Absolutely. Transformation and rebirth. I love all of that. So go transform, have a fabulous day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So, mwah.